All right. This is Scrap Video Beta 1. As ironically, that's a VHS cathode ray tube television. So I was just tearing this thing apart. Got it at the dump. You know, my new favorite place is the dump. Pull to grab old junk and then pull it apart. I don't really know why, but it's kind of like a childhood thing that I never really got over, taking stuff apart. Anyways, and so here we go. Old cathode ray tube. Remember these? This is like, blast from the past. But ironically, I looked at the date on this, and you can see that. I believe it says manufactured in 2002. 2002. I thought that was way past the world of, but you know what? Maybe not, because I had a tube up until not that long after 2002. Yeah, manufactured February 2002. Well, whatever. Good for them, right? Buying one that late in the game. There isn't much on this board. You can see it's brown. It's a low-grade board. You can see the. Oh, maybe you can't see the copper. There's the copper there and that. That's going to be about. Oh, you know what? Look at the VHS, some copper in there, and you know there may be. Let me pry off this box. Can you see that? All right. This is the cable tuner. Your cable tuner, or over-the-air tuner also, but depending on, it could be that CAM 256 encryption that they use. Made in China, how surprising. So yeah, it's just your standard coax type tuner. You get some copper spools in there, but nothing really worth much. Pop off the other side. I'm sure it's much of the same. Maybe a crystal oscillator. Maybe not. No, doesn't even look like one of those in there. But this, this was before the digital standard, before the over-the-air went digital. So you just have your standard analog tuner in 2002 in your typical television. So that means it's going to have the, double images, fog. For the younger generation, you guys don't even know what that is. Like, that's unheard of. You get pixelation now in digital signals. If the digital signal starts to go out, you see blockiness in the image. But we used to get snow and images going left and right, so you'd have to do the V sync and the H horizontal hold. Whatever. Well, on the back of these televisions, you had some dials. This doesn't have them, interestingly enough. Well, it's not that old, but it definitely had a analog tuner in it. So your analog tuner would have been your old school, channel 4, 5, 6, 7 over the air. Anyways, enough of that. So back to the board, and some aluminum heatsink. MOSFET transformers, those are going to contain a little bit of copper. You just have to really get a lot of them. Standard wiring, copper wiring. This one's a little thicker. You might be able to strip that down, but I don't know. Not really worth it. And your cable here is going to be your number 2 insulated, or maybe even number 3. I think number 2. You're not an appliance wire, which would be like a number 1. When you just have 2 strands, wire you can almost see. That's your number 1. I could be getting this wrong. Number 1 where you get the most, like a 60% wire, they call it. And that is not this. You would have 2 wires basically that are just kind of glued together. This actually is going to have, I'm going to pop it off of the board. So here you have 2 wires But then you have them in a jacket. So you have 3 coverings, hypothetically, on that. You have your wires that are covered, or insulated, I should say. And then you have the jacket on top of that. So that adds a lot of weight. So this is only going to be your 40% recovery wire. I trim these off. Not sure if you have to, but I do anyways, just because it looks cleaner, just, sending that in. And might as well be honest to the yard. If you want to, you can get these. These are typically bronze. Where's my magnet? Well, I don't have a strong magnet, but I have this one for now. Yeah, these are bronze. So you can pull them out if you want, or I just throw all these ends in a bucket. So eventually I'll be throwing these. Well, eventually I will pull these out, but it's going to be a day when I have a lot of time and just nothing to do, which, quite a bit. This is a better image of that. I mean, the focus is a little out, but you can see there that you have 3 jackets, hypothetically. No, really, not hypothetically, really do. So yeah, that's going to be your lower grade 40% wire. It's full of the Chivas. And okay, let's pop this stuff up. Let's get you know what? Let's get the tube itself out. I think I only have one more screw. It's mostly, I believe, the wires I cut away. There might be something connected to it, but we'll find out. All right. Ooh. Look at that ugly thing, huh? Crazy. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, Andrew? Yeah. Kind of like big old tube. This is old television time. This is what we used to watch. Yeah. So, okay. Upside down. Let's get to this. It looks like this. I can pop these off. Cindy loves when I make messes like this. And love it when a plan doesn't come together. Probably put the gloves on, because I'm going to slide my fingers into this stuff and cut them out. It seems greasy. All right. I need a better flathead, but whatever. The smaller one I'll have to do. All right. Sure. I've never done one of these. I've never done this cathode ray tube, to tell you the truth. But okay, so there's one bracket off. You can see that there. That's just standard steel with, looks like some sort of resin, hard resin epoxy. Funny. It's like, the amber from Jurassic Park. That's what it looks like to me. Find a mosquito in there from 75 million years ago. Maybe we can bring it back to life, DNA, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Hey, Andrew. Yeah, more. Jeez, this is super formable. Let me just say this. Yeah, no, it's magnetic, so it's just going to be your number 2 scrap iron, which I think it's only $110 or $130 per ton. So you need a boatload of that to make any money. Which eventually, though, it all adds up. Like, taking off all these pieces, I just throw them into 55-gallon buckets in some of these tough containers. And I can't even lift them anymore. They're so heavy. So, I got to bring them up there.
Are you?
Yeah?
I am not the food today.
You want some food? Some chow? I got to make him some chow.
What is some food?
But I'll come back to take that off. So let me pause. Okay, recording again. I'm just finding the little places where things are held together. hoping that if I just unscrew these, something is gonna, you know, something big's gonna happen. So that is the little clamp there is off. You can see glass tube. I'm not gonna break anything. I don't want to deal with like lead dust floating around the house or mercury, because these tubes do contain some, you know, not so earth friendly stuff. You know, why am I doing that manually? Okay.
You look at that jacket.
I didn't do it enough. Woo! Oh, that was scary. All right. Here we go. No patience. Pull apart. You can see my. Look at that. How many screws from taking things apart? It's just like a month's worth. All right. Now, nothing.
Look at that jacket.
This
You look at that jacket.
really got. Oh, hey, look at that.
You look
Okay,
at
we get a
that
board.
jacket.
Really nothing of consequence. 3 transistors, which,
You look at that
you know,
jacket.
may doubtfully. God, this thing. I gotta shave that. You know, there's your 3 transistors right here. 1, 2, 3. Resistors, you know, contain nothing basically. But these 3 transistors might have a gold filament. Probably don't. A capacitor, blue capacitor. I've heard that you can get silver from those. I don't know. You tell me. I save them anyways. They're kind of cool looking. Look like a bunch of M&Ms in a jar. I'll show you in a moment.
No, do it again.
And that's it. Oh, yeah, that's it. There's nothing else on this board. All right, on the back we don't have any
You look at
tantalum
that jacket.
capacitors or anything. There's nothing. It's just a teeny printed. So this is garbage. This is pretty much garbage. I'll clip off those transistors, throw them in a mason jar, and then capacitor. You know, add it to my old man mason jar collection in case the world ends. I can use those for, you know, the new monetary system that we'll develop from scrapping junk. Now, let's move on. This copper's, that's the scrap gold. And how do I get it? How do I get it? Is the question. Without breaking this tube, because I really don't want a broken tube. I'd like to get these out. I don't know how to get them out. Let's see. Pop them out with a screw. They're just plastic. Like I said, I just don't want to break this thing. And then I got to deal with, disposal. Okay. I'm going to pause this because I'm not going to make you suffer while I try to figure it out. Yeah. That's that. I'll come back when I make some progress. Okay, I'm back. Love these Nipex. It can't be things made in Germany. They just make them really good. Everything feels good about them. And I'm just gonna pull this thing apart. Use a little bit of just raw strength to get it. So as I do this, I can see it like wanting to do something. You know, that might free up some space. Let's continue to do that. Okay, I see. All right, middle thing's coming off. That's good. That means making room, and then I can slide these items. My guess is back up this thinner part of the tube. And what a mess I'm gonna make. Sorry, son. All right. Okay. So here you go. there. I don't think it will anyways. I don't know what that is. But I'm going to move that. Oh, yeah. There we go. Look at that. You see this? Is that coming along? Oh, it's nice. Hold a second. So now I'm sliding up. But you know what? I'm going to make a little bit more room. I'm going to break this plastic a little more. I'll just even outright try to remove some of it. Oh, yeah. There's your copper. You know, something rewarding about tearing stuff up. And to me, it's like therapeutic. I do it just to, you know, kind of, you know, just to, yeah. Good exercise on your arms and stuff. Like, you really get like a forearm workout from just, you know, crunching down, gripping with these things everywhere. But, so you're burning calories while you do this. But also, you know, and I'm not just sitting around watching TV. I can't do that at night anymore. If I watch a TV, I have to sit at this table and tear things apart while everyone else is watching. I just feel like, you know, I don't know. If I sit there, I'll tend to get the old man fall asleep thing. So, all right, let's continue on. Enough of my babble. Just trying to free up some space. Keep blocking your view so I can then slide this up and out. Okay. Theory is, you know, I'm gonna have to pull that off. Okay. I didn't want to because it looked like almost this would come apart, the glass, but I don't think it does. It's all one piece. I say that now and watch what happens. Can't get a good grip of it. That's the problem. So I'm gonna go around like this and. Ooh, okay, yeah. So it's lucid. That's a word, right? Lucid. Watch this blow apart right in my face. I should be wearing safety glasses, but I have these readers on. That's not really an excuse, but it's the best I can do. Yeah. I'm not gonna, yeah. It's not gonna blow up. Okay, there we go. Come on, plastic. I'm being super careful. That's what I'm saying. I say to myself, I'm being super careful. Am I? Oh yeah. I just can't get a bite of this. Come on. Okay. That screwdriver. This thing's getting rounded. Let me just, you see it there. Let's see if I can just bang down again without breaking anything. Oh, I banged it down. Now that it's down near the copper, get under it, and it's snapped. Okay, good. That's what I wanted to do. So now, hypothetically, right up and out. Well, would you look at that? So, look at this big ass chunk of copper. Now, question, how to get this out without making a, I don't want to unspool this. I want it to kind of, I'm going to push these up, out, and inward, and then, I don't know if I can do that. Well, that amber is probably the only thing holding it in place. Let's see. Let's get rid of these little, probably break them with my, no, use the tool. Let the tool do the work. So you can see, just come apart. I say that and then it turns into gum. I'm trying not to shred the wire too much, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. Funny. Is that like... I never noticed that painting. A little round painting in the background. What is that? All right, so... Let's pull you apart. Okay. I just want to see what this does. So that amber is like, ugh. Too bad it's on the copper. Oh yeah. So now, okay, now this is loosening this copper spool since I kind of separated the amber from it. So here you can hear it cracking, separating, and then this actually wants to pull out. I'm trying to fold everything kind of inward. My hands are weak. And then pull this back. So, oh yeah, that's what I was aiming at. But of course now, this mouth. See how it looks like a mouth? Kind of like a fish mouth. That is, I just want to bite down on it. And, but let me do this. All right, let's slide you back up a little. I want to, which that kind of worked, kind of compress it down. I can almost push this through and out the other side. It says, it doesn't look like it's connected, so I should be able to just reach in and pull this. See, everything sounds good and well, and then when you do it, it doesn't work.
What was I scared of?
I don't know, you tell me. This is the reason why this is, by the way, number 2. It's not, you think like, oh, that's bright copper, right? So it's going to be number 1 copper, but it's got an epoxy resin on it, which, you know, that immediately brings it down in value. It's not pure clean. I mean, it's clean, but it's still got a residue or resin over it. So you're not going to get that number 1. It would be nice. It would be.
Whoa.
So I got half. You can see it sprung out. And I'll take the tape off, and it's a decent chunk. I know, huh? Pretty surprising, Andrew. So get half out. And watch this. This is going to come out catastrophically like the other one did. Come on. All right. There we go. So we got the other one out. Empty. Yay. Yay. What was I scared of? In this, now this is getting really loose. So I'm thinking, I just bend these chunk pieces. That's a definition. And yeah, and then slide this off. Best way to do that, I'm just going to try to bend it down with these. So, I don't know how to give you a best view of this, but oh, look at that. It's already broken, actually. You know what? I'm going to bend that individual tab. Oh, God, it's like it's all coming apart. It ate the Knipex monkey wrench. That's what I was talking about. So the plastic kind of crunched, fell apart, went inward, and now we got that. And I think there's, oh no, it's still. That's a test, tooth test. You don't ever do that. I don't know why I do that. Okay, so there is still, this is wrapped. It's copper that's wrapped around a ferrite core. This is ferrite. And somehow that affects back here the state of things inside this tube, creating a signal. But, you know, an electromagnetic field with all the copper windings, blah, blah, blah. Let's not get into electronics, right? Let's just take them apart. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to leave this for later. But it's a big chunk. I will probably just cut around the inside here with a little little, I don't forget the name of them, just in or downward like that, and pull the copper off in chunks. It's gonna still, this amber junk is like recouped on top of it, but I should be able to pull these big pieces out, and somewhat like this. But I'm not going to put you through the pain of watching that whole thing. I just want to take a look, real brief. Well, so this tube, this is, I'm going to have to bring and have the dump do something with it. Get rid of it properly. I'll hold on to it though for a little while. I don't know why, but I will. Because it's got mercury, lead, some things in it. And since I am, doing some amateur chemistry, if there's a way to get them out, I might even try to get them recovered from this, but I don't know. So I'm going to keep it. It doesn't take up too much space. I'll put it somewhere. I'll hide it so the whole family isn't like, what is Dad doing? What's wrong with him? This cable going around is sometimes copper. I'm going to strip it down and check. It goes around the tube. Sometimes that's copper. Sometimes it's aluminum, but I think it's copper this time. This metal thing, I don't know. Oh yeah, look at that. So it's like riveted in place. I'm afraid if I try to pry that, the glass will shatter. And then, yeah. There might be a way to slither it off, but we'll see. I'm not doing that right now. Right now, what a mess I'm making right now. Okay, is this circuit board, low grade. I mean, boardsort.com is going to give you 50 cents a pound, so it's not feasible to send that. Because it's going to take up so much room in the mail and weight that you'd be paying for you'd be paying for the shipping with any money you got. So it just wouldn't make sense. So I'll strip this board. I'm going to come back. I'm going to get all the junk off it, and then show you the board pure and what I can take from it. Micro scrapping. I'll be back. Won't let you sit through that. All right, I'm back. So I took the board, the TV, the tube. Well, you saw that. But I also took off the plastic front. So you had this, and then you had, this holding the board up. Board's right there in the foreground. Background, foreground, whatever. So here's your board, and then here's your VHS part of it. Because it was that VHS and television combined. And this is just connected by some wires. At this point, I unscrewed everything else. So, we just cut these. Make life easy. It's funny how you can't see them. Like, where are they? Oh, there it is. Is that a ribbon? All right. That's a ribbon. Ribbon cable, ribbon drop, ribbon cord, ribbon cord. Okay, and then just that one. Old school ribbon. This is like, yeah. I don't have the smallest digits for this stuff too. Okay, so much better. Freeing up some space there. Okay, this looks like it goes here. So, all right. This, you can see there is a motor, a copper motor in here. Pretty cool. That's actually the coolest part. That's aluminum too. I'll probably take this out for some cast aluminum. Throw that in the cast aluminum bin, which I'll show you in a moment. All right, so here's your copper. I'm not going to break this down. Breaking these individual spools out is a wicked issue. But I'll take this board off, take out that, sell it as a motor to the recycler. And the rest of this is pretty much going to be scrap number 2 iron, your typical recycle yard. That's Andrew. He's eating food. I just made mac and cheese for him. And hey, look at that. See those 2 little chips? That's 2 flat pack ICs. No, just ICs. I couldn't, almost saw legs on all sides, but just ICs. This tape, you know, the ribbon tape, for a second there I thought it was gold, but you know what? I don't even know if it's not gold. And then I was like, well, maybe it's silver, because silver is the best conductor. However, it corrodes. You get silver oxide, as you've seen before, it gets like tarnished. They use gold, even though it doesn't conduct electricity quite as well as silver. Gold doesn't really break down into like a gold oxide or anything. It doesn't rust, if you will, which is what happens with iron. Iron oxide is rust. Anything oxidizes. So they use silver sometimes, but I don't even know if that is silver. Will be. I'm blocking it. Terrible I am. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I can put bleach on this and tell if it's silver or not. I'm not gonna bother with such a small amount. Though silver is it was yesterday, $56 an ounce. There are some brass screws in here. I might put them in my screw collection. I'll pull this out for the aluminum. And yeah, okay, enough. Let's go to the board. And the board. Garbage board, by the way. This is like your lowest quality circuit board. It's this. I could snap that. I'm not going to do it. Hey, look at that though. Crystal oscillator. Gonna grab a screwdriver. So, right there is a crystal oscillator. Wait a minute. I believe it is. Yeah, it's two leads. 3 leads. It most likely would have been a metal transformer of some sort. But yeah, crystal oscillator. That's gonna have some silver recovery in it. I think if there's gold, it's minute, but there's silver recovery with enough of them. Eventually I'm gonna do a silver recovery, but I'll do gold recovery first. Okay. Switches, they're going to have silver contacts too. Each one of these little switches are going to have silver in them. The dot, little dab of silver. Not much though. That's actually an IC chip. I doubt it's got gold, but I'll take it anyways, add it to the pile. And another crystal oscillator. Because it is a TV tuner board, so that would make sense. Other than that, these might be brass. If you really want to recover everything off the board, sometimes. No, they're not. They're steel. How funny. Yeah, so they're not even really recoverable. Unless you want to just pull them off with the steel, but that's really. There's an LED here. These LEDs sometimes contain gold lead, or not leads, but a gold filament somewhere in there. So, put them together. I have a bottle of them. Eventually I'll burn them all and then throw them in hydrochloric acid and to leach out the base metals, and then make aqua regia, which is hydrochloric acid and some nitric acid. I forget the ratio. 2-1, 20-1, whatever. And I will that will dissolve the gold into solution, and then there's other parts to that where you have to wash, and you can't mix up some parts of it, otherwise you'll contaminate the bunch. But in the end, then you add iron bisulfite, and the gold will precipitate to the bottom of the solution, and then you take the gold out or you filter it. You pour it through a filter, coffee filter, pretty much, and then you take a blowtorch, take the coffee filter, put it in a little ceramic dishes, and map gas, and torch, and you make a little ball of gold with a little bit of, you throw like a little bit of borax on it. Jeez, did I say borax and overpronounce that? Borax on it, and do it. That's how you get your gold. This is garbage wire, but you can throw that in your bin. They'll give you number, your 40% wire on that. There is copper in there. It's just kind of thick insulation that, so it's not the best wire. And definitely you're not going to want to go for the copper in that. It's way too difficult. So yeah, take the crystal oscillators, save them for later, for silver recovery. Take the LED, and even these transistors, what the heck. This is a big one. Take those transistors for, that's the, by the way, if you're not seeing it right, that's the black things. Yeah, the transistors, you might want to take those, because there might be some recoverable gold in those also. This green one, I can't tell. It looks like a palladium capacitor. I'm not sure though if it is. It might be, it might not be. That looks like it's a spool of copper under there. That too, I could be wrong, but I think that's a spool of copper under ceramic. MOSFETs, these MOSFET transistors, that has a copper backing, and there might be gold in it, but I think it's mainly you'd go for that, for the copper. So, oh yeah, I don't know if you can see that right. You would take off the MOSFET and throw those in a mason jar, and eventually get enough, and it would cut the copper. It's just not, you're not going to see that money anytime soon. Here's your transformer. There's going to be coils of spools, I should say, of copper, kind of like that. This one here is more exposed, and you could break this iron ferrite top and then unwind those spools of copper. Here's aluminum sheet. You can, and the MOSFET transformer is attached to it. You can, get copper off the MOSFET transformer, and then take this aluminum sheet, throw it in your own aluminum sheet. This one over here is steel. It's actually not a, you can see the magnetic screwdriver sticking to it. It's not a, it's a heat sink, and it's attached to a MOSFET, but it's not an aluminum one. So I can't imagine this radiating the heat out a whole lot, but whatever. I'm not an engineer, an electrical engineer. I don't design boards. It's just using kind of like common sense. Aluminum radiates it out quite a bit better than steel. So steel tends to kind of keep it. It's like if you heat up an iron pan, they stay hot, warm for a long time. Here's more of those. I don't think these are tantalum capacitors, but there might be. This fuse is actually going to be brass, and this looks like it might even be silver-plated brass. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, could be possibly silver-plated brass, which is unusual. Yeah, these blue M&M capacitors, I take those. There might be some silver in them. I like to throw them in a jar anyways. Look kind of neat, all the colors. And, there isn't really anything else on this board. That's it. Okay, this thing is got, I might take this piece of copper or brass that's in here. I might take that out, and I'll take the wires, but I'm not going to bother taking this unit out. It is too encased in, it's like that old plastic from the 50s that phones were made out of, but it's encased in, even worse, it's more flexible, so it's not brittle like those were. This is encased in a material that would make recovering anything inside of it brutally difficult and not worth it. Oh wow, would you look at that? I missed that. Okay, the back of this flat pack chips, IC chips, flat pack. There's 3 of them. Yeah, 3 of them. I don't know what that is. Might be a transistor rail, but whatever. These possibly have gold in them. I will look at the names on them and Google them, but I'll take them out, throw them into my collection anyways, and I will have possibly some gold from this board, which is a really garbage board, which you would get, like I said, 50 cents a pound from boardsort.com, and you'd have to take this off. And even then, you'd probably want to, yeah, yeah, it's just not gonna, it's 50 cents, you know, if it's a pound. And so you better off stripping this and getting, you know, pennies here and there, and then just taking this and scrapping it. I mean, at, you know, your salvage yard, or not even selling it to them. There's another IC chip on this RF tuner box. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all you're getting from that television. You know, the tube. This thing is, you know, what do you do with it now? Huh? The blue tube. The old school tuberino. Tube stuff. Funky looking. Like I said, if there's a way to recover the mercury and the metals that are in this, that would be kind of interesting, but I don't know of any way. And, you know, I know they do supposedly do it. They probably smash this thing and then recover whatever junk comes off of it, but after it's ground up. So, yeah, it's not really feasible for me to do. I will have to bring it back, and I'll probably, you know, I think you hypothetically have to pay for this to be recycled. Let's find a way, see if there's like a day that they collect things that they don't charge for. We'll see. But they're not supposed to go in the landfill because of the amount of mercury and lead in them. If there's also a way to break this down, I might try to do that. I might try to, like, you know, literally smash this in an enclosure and then see if there's a way to recover metals. That would be interesting, you know. And then you would have glass. You could clean the glass of any of the garbage. I know there's lead in here too. That's bad. So thing's heavy. It's heavy. It's cool, kind of cool looking. Funky, you know, retro. Anyways, that's all I gotta show for today. I have televisions with, I don't know where to put this, with all the plastic. I have televisions, 10 of them, LCDs and LEDs that I gotta tear apart. That was the only cathode ray tube, so I just wanted to go into that and see what was in it. There's really nothing in it. Scrap metal, and you know, my guesstimate, if you were to break that down into literally the gold content and everything that I would recover, it can't be more than a few dollars for that television, the worth. But I don't know, I could be wrong. I don't know how to realize that, because getting the ratio of gold or whatnot in it would be kind of difficult, and I can't really. Yeah, I can't think of a feasible way to do it. But I would guess it's a few dollars. I would think the LEDs, LCDs, because they have a higher grade board, and I'm gonna show you some boards. Higher grade boards. Okay, so you know, that's a computer board, but that's a higher grade board. That's gonna get you over $7 a pound for. Down here is some mid-grade boards. I have memory chips. Get you tons of money. So that's, you know, 40 bucks, 43 a pound. Is gold. Some high-grade boards there, or higher-grade peripheral boards that have chips on them. That will get you, there's a big, huge flat pack that will get you I don't know why I have these mixed in. I still have to, yeah, I gotta scrap these things. I think that might, hopefully that's nickel, but it's probably zinc. Yeah, whatever. I'm getting off track. Yeah, these flat packs have gold in them. So you get $5 a pound for high grade peripheral boards. This is boards that have been depopulating. This is like a nothing board, though it does have some these resistors, thin film resistors that have ruthenium oxide in there. I don't know if you can make that out. My phone's probably not the greatest. My hand's shaking too. I gotta get some food in me. Yeah, ruthenium oxide. That's a whole nother process to try to refine. These are aluminum, so I'm just gonna go for the aluminum, and I'll get the thin film resistors if I can. And that's cool looking though, huh? I'll keep those thin film resistors for a later date. Ruthenium oxide, yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna try to go for that. Very difficult. So all right, here you have what could be silver containing solder, but I don't know. It's too shiny. I bet it isn't. Plus, that would just be too good to be true. Look, that nut is like in it. Okay, yeah. Sorry, it goes in that bin. This is aluminum from a few days of scrapping. Extruded. This is your top stuff. Get you the most money. And then you've got cast and plate. Extruded is going to get you the most money. I think cast and sheet are 45 and 50 cents. I don't know what extruded is going for per pound, but and then